Okay, greetings, 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 dear Aquarius, that's you. This is Tarot Lumination, and it is your general mini report, kind of a generic spiritual overview kind of thing for June 2018. Cards are well shuffled in advance, but I like to go to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. I know a lot of you have been here before, but for the new folks, I have to kind of go through the routine a little bit. So we're going to use a journey of the heart spread. We're going to cover a broad viewpoint here. But before we get into it, like the other reports, I'm going to add a little bit of an appetizer here, a little bit of spice, just to keep people alert. Now, for you, Aquarius, the Gemini season now, here in June 2018, is typically very favorable, comfortable for you. But you have to understand there's a lot more going on besides just the sun and the moon. We go deeper, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're all doing their own thing too. And below the surface, in particular for you, Aquarius, I want to point out a couple of things, especially towards the middle of the month. Mars is in Aquarius right now. It's going to be there for quite a while. It's been there for a while. So that could be very invigorating, very stimulating for you. It could trigger a lot of, let's say, act before you think kind of behavior. Very easy to get in trouble with that kind of energy, especially because Mars is in a very tight conflict early in the month with Uranus and Taurus. Okay, very, very conflicted energy here, making things basically kind of volatile, very easy to be reckless, careless, even without intending to. So I'm just pointing that out here, especially as we get towards the middle of the month, June the 15th, okay? And special items that I wanted to point out, especially this one here, the Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, T-square on the North Node. You might feel a little strange in such ways that, like, you might be getting rattled, like, what am I supposed to be letting go of in all my awesomeness over here as being in the Aquarius, all lit up by Mars, but it's in opposition to the global Leo North Node that's happening right now, where you're supposed to step up and shine in a very public, open way that is completely contradictory to the Aquarius self, where you are more comfortable being dissolved and selfless in the group, okay? So that could be quite accentuated. But especially around June the 15th, the 29th, and the 30th, the Leo Aquarius axis over here, let's just put it over here. The Leo Aquarius axis is under a lot of pressure with Taurus in the middle. And the same thing right towards the end on the 29th, the Leo Aquarius axis with Taurus in the middle. Sorry, with the Scorpio over here. Okay, so it's like a T-square and a square. There's a whole bunch of them going on at once. And so it's just for this later part of the month. The Leo Aquarius axis under a lot of pressure from squares and T-squares, okay? I don't want to go into the astrology. I'm just giving you a heads up that towards the end of the month, there could be a lot of stressful pressures for you in one way, shape, or form or another. Almost kind of like being hogtied, especially when you think of those T-squares. They really put a lot of stress on the planets and the angles. So it's going to be direct hits on you, Aquarius, even though you've got the sweet energy of Gemini shining on you for a good chunk of the month. All right. So that probably sounded like a load of gobbledygook, and I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, add a little bit of texture here, because I know people like to have the astrological references. I do as well. I have to keep them from my own awareness anyway, so I'm just sharing them with you. So here we go. Cards are well shuffled, and we're going to go for it. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. We're just going to go straight in with the basics, okay? Here we go. Please bring in your spirit guides. Tarot Illumination kind of does a team thing here. Excuse, that was a very strange cut. And let's make it a team effort, okay? Just like you would do anyway, Aquarius, right? So here we go. At the very core heart of you, heart energy, the heart knows what it wants, knows what it needs. And it's up to us here, Aquarius, to listen. Hopefully, you're very attuned into your heart energy. Typically, a lot of us are not. It's very hard because often the heart energy is on a completely different wavelength. And in our day-to-day 3D lives, we're often consumed with things like careers, jobs, commitments, chores, activities, chasing the highs, avoiding the lows, self-medicating our ways into neutrality so that we can put life on cruise control, or we think we can. All of that is detrimental to the heart. Okay, over here, legacy energy. What are we bringing in with us, Aquarius? Pretend you're just coming into a meeting here and you got to put all your stuff on the table, open up your pockets, dump everything out. What you got? What do you got in there? Is it full of candy wrappers? Have you got a very organized briefcase? Have you got a beautiful resume? Have you got a whole bunch of serious, awkward issues in secret envelopes? What is it that's going on with you, Aquarius? Okay, could be anything, all right? We are still under the Leo North Node thing, and we did have the big eclipses in February, and we got the big eclipses coming up in August. So we're kind of in the middle point right now. So you might not be feeling that too much, but the energy is still there. Okay, the energy of the ever-present now. This is where we own our power. This is where basically anything and everything can happen. It's where you are exposed most vividly to the healing power of your decisions, because it is through your decisions that you can catalyze your evolution here in the best ways possible. Hopefully, to love thyself, nurture the heart, giving the heart what it needs. Remember, the heart is working all day, every day to pump all the nutrients that you need, Aquarius, and taking away all the wastes that you create through your life, and doing that for you, automatically. So it's up to you, Aquarius, to take care of this heart, because without this, there's nothing, okay? It doesn't matter about everything else. Without this, there is nothing. Your wealth is in your heart here. Okay, let's have a look. Over here is the energy of your decisions, your decision-making faculties. Please see decision-making as a divine gift, a way that human beings have that we can kind of override autopilot, override instinctive behavior, reflexes behavior, and deliberately choose alternate behaviors, actions that are loving, so that we learn how to love thyself. Love thyself, Aquarius. And hopefully, as this story unfolds here, we'll have a better understanding. But the question then becomes, how do we do that most effectively? Once you're in the zone, let's say you're not too wrapped up in the past, or your conditioning, or your expectations of the future. You're totally present, grounded, conscious, and here. And you're making active decisions in what is most loving for you through your day-to-day life, the littlest things to the biggest things. How are you going to do that most effectively? Because what's best for you in that way, the most loving thing that you can do to serve your heart energy, is what's good for you overall and your loved ones and those around you. So it's like love breeds love. You're propagating love, and everything grows from there. Without that, there's nothing. So, except an illusion. So over here, the energy of consequence, like once this is in the flow and you understand that you create outcomes through the healing power of your decisions, and you don't have to outsource your life. You don't have to outsource all decisions and make all your happiness or sadness contingent upon something or someone else. You can actually take ownership here and have a sense that you've got your life, that you have a little bit of like your act together. Now, what happens if you're having a really rough day? You're totally freaked out by the past. You're terrified of the future. And the last thing you want to do is be present in the now. And you're messing up on all your decisions. You're abdicating yourself. What does that look like? On the other hand, what does it look like when you're in the zone and you're totally cruising. You're totally surfing through June. You're fully aware of all the different layers in the layer cake, all the challenges towards the end of the month for you as you become embattled, seriously embattled under the hard T-squares, especially with Jupiter in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus. You're going to feel it. So I'm just forewarned as forearmed. I'm saying that specifically because Mars is the planet of war. And all I'm suggesting is that if you are all geared up for action, please understand the battlefield. Understand your enemy. Know thy enemy. Know their strengths and their weaknesses. So stay on top of it. And make sure you love thyself. Love thyself here. And what does that look like when you're doing that? Over here, prospects and momentum, that takes you straight into the next beat of the heart. Please see this as a heart shape. I hope you can indulge me and see that here. And at the very core, this would be the actual heart itself, pumping all the nutrients, pumping out all the waste. We're going to look at circumstantial energy right now. This is around you, and the whole idea is to make the best of it. If you think of it as weather, whatever it is, we have to find a way to deal with it, survive it, or take advantage of it, or really enjoy it, whatever it might be. Let's have a look at the Emperor. All right, my feeling here is to be aware that you're under a lot of pressure, perhaps extreme opposition from forces, let's just admit it, that are more powerful than you as the individual. The planets are just going to do what they do. They're not even the slightest bit concerned about your how you deal with it. They're just being what they're being. Jupiter's being Jupiter. Uranus is being Uranus. What are you going to do about it? They're just going off and doing what they do, and you're going to be, especially towards the end of the month, under a lot of pressure. And it might feel as though it's brutal and oppressive and dictatorial and totally unfair and totally unjust. I'm just saying. On the other hand, this might be exactly what you need. In other words, it's like being put under extreme pressure, like really seriously under the thumb, so to speak, to actually like pop, like crack, and move towards that North Node journey that we're all supposed to head in anyway. I just added that for a little bit of, depth and color, so to speak. Let's have a look. What's going on at the core heart here? More big cards. Hierophant. Okay. Well, a lot of times I feel like Mars is square to Uranus, but we can also say that Uranus is square to Mars. And my feeling is that it's putting you at the very core heart level under a lot of pressure to recalibrate your life. It's like taking yourself into a computer repair store and saying, listen, I'm a highly advanced computer. I'm an Aquarius. Thank you very much. And I really have my acts together. On the other hand, I know there's some serious problems when I open the lid and switch everything on and get all the softwares up and running. And I'm just saying, what can we do about it? And your heart is saying, thank heavens you are listening. You, Aquarius, your 3D conscious self that lives through your brain, your senses, your thoughts, are listening to your heart. And your heart is saying, we need a complete reboot here. We need to completely rewrite our computer code, our operating system going forward here. I really need this now. I seriously need a complete recalibration. I want a formal list from you, Aquarius, about the top 10 things that need attention right now. And then we're going to fix it. It's literally like going into a computer lab and getting everything fixed and having the latest, most advanced softwares, downloads, updates, upgrades, everything that you can have so that the heart has a chance to go forward. All right, because, the Uranus and Taurus journey is going to affect you just as much as anyone else. It depends on what part of life that hits you, where is it going to take you? And the heart is saying, we need to get on top of this stuff right now. You don't want to be dealing with this kind of reboot, reprogramming, reformatting, and formalizing a brand new, let's say, operating system, a new, let's say, what do they call it? Like a mission statement. You know, when you're operating and running a business, one of the most important things to begin with is to create a mission statement, a purpose that can be stated in a few sentences that anybody in the world can understand. Not a lot of gobbledygook mixed up with layers upon layers of, well, maybe some of this and maybe some of that. No, it has to be very succinct, short, and clear and understood that this is what needs to happen now. Complete uh, uh, list of what actually works, rewriting the code, rewriting your code, your algorithm. Let's call it your algorithm, okay, Aquarius? Your heart is saying we need to completely rewrite the algorithm. All right, let's see. What are you bringing in with you? More big cards. Jeepers, you might feel as though you're very, you might be getting pounded by fate right now in some way or other where it feels like, hey, geez, Terra Illumination, I have no idea what's going on. That's why I'm here. I thought I might be able to get some insight. I just feel as though I'm being thrown around like a pinball in a pinball machine. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Well, you know, that's understandable right now. The planets are very, very combustible. A lot of the planets are very spread out, so that there's a lot of ease for them to express themselves in their most vivid way. There's no heavy, heavy, tight clusters except in the fast transits. So we've got all this going on with you, Aquarius, and it might feel like, let's say you came into this reading, you thought, you know what, I need help. I need some serious, serious help. I'm way out of whack. I'm way out of balance. And what I need right now is harmony, healing, and balance. I need to get, I don't want to be like this, way, way out of whack over here, struggling to hold on to the status quo while I'm being pounded by Uranus and Taurus. I don't want to be stuck over here trying to figure out what's supposed to happen in the Scorpio part of my life while Jupiter does its thing. I need to be present right now. I want balance. I want supreme balance. I want to be like an artist, a true artist who is completely and utterly present in the zone, and they've got their act together. They're not distracted by the past or expectant of the future. They're just being totally pure and present and harmonious and loving and balanced in the now. But that's not happening. Help. I need healing. I need healing now. I want healing. I know I can be healed. I know I have to take care of this. I know I have to rewrite my algorithm. Please, please, please help me. Okay, there we go. Well, don't worry about it. You're going to get it. You're in the right place at the right time for the right reasons with the right people, Aquarius, all right? I mean, this whole Terra Illumination thing is weird anyway, you know, when you think about it. How weird is this stuff? But weird is normal for you. So I'm hoping you feel right at home here. What about the now? What about the present? Okay. I'm actually happy to see this. A little Two of Pentacles. I know it looks pretty benign, but it's actually like the energy. To me, this complements the Temperance card very, very strongly. To me, this is a real coming down to earth, a very, very serious reality check that you are fully aware, dear Aquarius, that you need to get things balanced out. You can't be shuffled around, banged around like a pinball, whoosh over there, then bang over here, ding, dang like that. Emotional crisis, oh no, emotional high, ecstatic senses of lunacy, like, oh my God, I think I figured something out, amazing. Oh no, something horrible happened. Oops. But you know, it's like trying to hold your balance in a ship where you've lost the, what's that thing they call underneath the ship, the sailing boat that keeps it stable? I forgot what it's called. I can't remember. What is that thing? It's not an anchor. It's that big thing underneath a boat that helps it sail through the water in much more stable ways. My feeling is that right now, in the very present moment, you know that what's most important is to maintain and try and hold stability and create, you know how they have on ships those gimbal things? So that even if the ship is tipping sideways, the kitchen stove stays level. So you can keep cooking even while things are wobbling around the place, going up and down, left and right. A gimbal is a very, very weird kind of joint. And that's what I think is happening here. Right here in the present, right now, you might be feeling as though your ship, your physical body, is being shifted around to the point where the gimbals are very, very active. You know, you see that on, you know, ocean liners and ships, especially smaller ships that are moving around uh, quite a lot by the water. Uh, they have gyroscopes inside them to maintain stability, but also on some of the more vulnerable surfaces, they actually have gimbals. So it's a weird joint where there's one of these combined with one of these. And so everything swivels around so that, let me just grab a card here. Okay, pretend that's the table. I'm sure you understand what we're talking about. In other words, the seas are chopping around here, the boat's moving around, but your table with your martini on it is perfectly stable. There you go. That's what I was trying to indicate. And you're right in the thick of it right now, trying to get your gyroscopes to work, trying to get your gimbals to work so that you can at least have half a chance of finding stability. I'm not saying creating stability. I'm saying finding stability, because it feels to me as though you're being buffeted, seriously buffeted around right now. And you know it. You need the healing. You need the harmony. You need the balance. You know you need to rewrite the algorithm of what constitutes stability here. Let's have a look. Healing power of your decisions. Okay, you know you want this. You know you need this. You know it has to be done. I have a feeling, the way I'm looking at it right now, is that however advanced you might be as a spiritual being from outer space, dear Aquarius, you're having to deal with all of this stuff here. You don't even have to read any of it. I'm just showing you, this is like a prop, okay? All of this stuff is happening here for all of us, okay? All of these dates here have strong triggers, strong planetary energies in them, which affect all of us, and it's going to affect you in certain ways. But you're quite vulnerable because you're an Aquarius, and some of these hotspots are directly targeting you, Aquarius, okay? So that's why I'm mentioning this so much. And I think what's happening here is that you are basically admitting it. You're basically saying, you know what? I don't fully understand it. I don't have to understand it, but I know I need help right now. I know I need a treatment. I know I need to take care of this stuff, and I'm willing to make it happen. I don't know how it's all going to work. All I know is I have the best intentions, and I want to know what works, how it works. I'm bringing everything I've got to this, what gifts and talents that I do have. I bring them with the best of intentions going forward, and I'm going to truly do the best and be the best that I can in tangible, practical ways that actually work. So you're not being buffeted around it, but instead you're actually owning this stuff. You're actually learning to ride the waves instead of being pounded by the waves. Okay, so how do we do this effectively? Okay, well, one good thing is that you got a reading here from Tarot Lumination. So that's a starting point. At least you kind of like, you got something to hold on to, you know, topics of conversation, language that you can be using in this kind of context. How are we going to do this? Okay, keep the enthusiasm going. Just admit you're as naive and innocent as the rest of us put together. And, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. You're just as naive and innocent as the rest of us, and you have goals and dreams and desires and ambitions just like the rest of us. So the way to effectively do what has to be done here, so that you can listen to your heart, understand and know that the heart is begging for complete reformatting right now, so you can get back to love and healing, bring the healing power of love into your life, bring some equilibrium in the face of highly destabilizing energies, bringing all your gifts and talents that you have already, and knowing that it's going to take a lot of courage and enthusiasm to keep going. But luckily for you, Aquarius, like the perpetual youth of Aquarius. It's a wonderful sign. You seem to have these amazing abilities to always be youthful. And I see that very strongly here. Uh, it's actually an asset for you right now, because a lot of us may not be able to handle these energies in the way that you can. Some of us are going to feel very beat up and battered around, whereas your youthful innocence here can be just the perfect formula for going forward, so that you keep your enthusiasm and spirit going, and the sense of courage and sense of mission and purpose, that this actually all has meaning, and it's actually worth doing this. It's actually worth coming here, getting this kind of reading, to do the reformatting, the reprogramming, the rewriting of your algorithms to create harmony and balance going forward. So what does this generate for us? Okay, well, it's very transformative, that's for sure. I mean, when you look at the hard square with Jupiter in Scorpio, very hard square, all towards the end of the month, and at the same a few days later, the hard squares with Taurus, that's a lot of transformational pressure. The Scorpio energy is going to be very transformational. The Uranus in Taurus energy is going to cause upends and upheavals in pretty much every part of your life where that Taurus part is touching you. So you could condense all of this and just basically say that what you're creating here is a what do they call it? Self-determined, like you create your own curriculum of radical transformation, slashing and burning, cutting away anything of everything that does not work for you, anything that is redundant and obsolete from the Aquarius South Node has to be illuminated, has to be brought up for healing, no matter how dizzy and weird and disorienting it might be for you. And you just literally have to hack it away, cut it out. It's literally like doing psychic emotional surgery in order to do this rewriting of the algorithm. And this is a good way to do it. You know, sometimes it really helps to go in a team effort to get perspective and feedback from someone like Tarot Lumination, for example, so that you can get through this. This doesn't have to be the end of the world. Let's have a look over here. What happens if you're having a rough day and you mess up? Well, you lose all the abilities to manifest and make this happen. There's so many big cards here for you, Aquarius. You might feel as though everything is very so fated and that you have absolutely no control over any of this. Well, the thing is that you do. There's no point in thinking that you're going to figure out and solve all the problems of your life in one tiny tarot reading for June. No, it's not going to happen. This is heavy duty, long-term strategies that are going to have to be employed here, that are going to take you long-term into the future. So when you do it right, you understand that you have a lot to learn, you're bringing all your gifts anyway, you rekindle your ability to manifest and bring in and bring out all the abundance that you truly have, that allows you to be your most like glorious, rich, and fertile self. Okay, so that's good. So that's good. In other words, when you're in the zone, when you're actually doing this and you see this as a formula, it's not just a party trick, it's an actual formula for you to heal yourself and allow yourself to be healed by others. It actually can be very, very delicious and very, very satisfying and feel very weird and new. Prospects. Let's have a look. Okay. The thing is, this might be so overwhelming for you, Aquarius, that you might have a very strong desire to resist all this. Okay, I'm just saying, let me just make a little short doodle here on a pad. What have I got? Actually, let me just use this one here. Bear with me just a second. This reading's going to go on a little bit long. Sorry. Okay, so there's the Aquarius axis, there's the Leo axis, there's the Taurus axis, there's the Scorpio axis. What I'm trying to hint here is that late in the month, we've got this big fat T-square here. That's very challenging. That's putting a lot of pressure on you. And then just a little bit later, we have this here. In fact, this goes in and out through the month, okay, on and off. So this is a lot of pressure. Now, what I was trying to suggest here is this is so much pressure, you might think, I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. This is too much. It's too much pressure too quickly. I'm under attack. Aquarius, I'm under attack from here, from here, from here. Oh no, oh no, oh no. So you might want to just escape and think, I can't handle it. I'm just going to dive into the past, do what I know, stick with the status quo and everything that I love already. Okay? And that's very self-defeating because it takes you back to square one and you lose all the momentum that you can build up here. So if you allow the sense of fate and allow the sense that you're being pounded and crushed to pieces and you take it personally, that's not going to work. If you take this very impersonally and just basically admit to yourself, I'm sorry, I just didn't know. I wasn't expecting all this. I'm just going to submit to the process and go through it. I'm going to allow myself to transform. Then you have a chance to be okay. So you have to remember, energy flows where attention goes. So as the pulse of this reading goes, doom, 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 heartbeat by heartbeat, every time you get to the next heartbeat, there could be a deep sense of reluctance, like, can I actually handle this? Can I handle this? Oh, I wish I had just known all this stuff before. If only, if only, if only I coulda, I woulda, I shoulda, then I wouldn't be in this mess now. And then you would want to retreat. No. Please understand that all you have to do is recalibrate, refocus, and poof, there's the little cup of love right there. Pretend like you're building a chance for yourself right now to create the Ace of Cups to flow into your life, like a little magic Ace of Cups. And it's right there, ready for you anytime you're ready. All you have to do is think of the heart, love yourself first, love thyself, and poof, this is what comes into being. And all this becomes just history. You can call it sadness or joy or whatever it is, but it's history. All right. Well, I hope that reading makes sense for you in some way, shape, or form, Aquarius. I know you are very, very tolerant for the weird and wonderful, so please accept Tarot Illumination's reading for you as something categorized as weird and wonderful, and we'll make the best of it, all right? Thank you so much, Aquarius. All the best in June. You know where to come if you need extra TLC, all right? That's what I'm talking about here. All righty. Thank you so, so much. All the best, Jim. All the best, Aquarius. Bye-bye.